What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another one. I am in the Life's Apprentice studios here. We're going to film a video today that I think is something that is not talked about very much in the dumpster space, and that is what color dumpster is best for your dumpster business. Now, I don't think there's really a wrong answer to this, but let's get into some of the details and what I think and why. I hear a lot of people say a dumpster is a dumpster is a dumpster. To some degree that's true, but when you're talking about branding and how you present yourself as a dumpster company, I think there's a lot of improvement that needs to be done across the dumpster business as a whole. I think that customers really do appreciate not only nice dumpsters, but dumpsters that are consistent. When you're building a dumpster business, one thing that's going to be really important is brand recognition, and color of your dumpsters is going to play a huge role in that. Now, obviously, like an ugly dumpster or whatever kind of dumpster, if you're doing your marketing properly, you will be able to rent it. But depending on the look and the functionability of that dumpster, that's going to say a lot of things to your customer. Just by putting a really old, crappy, dirty, nasty dumpster in their driveway is definitely going to make them less likely to hire you in the future. Now, obviously, this video is not made to crap on anybody or make anybody feel bad about what they have. This is just one way that we can improve our dumpster business and create a better brand. Let's talk about some colors that I personally think you should not use. One of those being brown. I do not think you should use a brown dumpster. Also, white. The reason for the white is it's going to get dirty and it's just going to look kind of like crap. Brown is just not an appealing color. It also blends in with kind of your natural environment. So I would avoid those two colors. Not saying that they're bad, but I think for the longevity of the business and trying to help your business stand out, those are two colors that you would want to avoid. If you're still unsure or you're thinking about starting a dumpster business, one thing that I would highly recommend is look at your major competition. What color dumpsters do they have? Now, when doing this is not going to sway you from those colors, but you have to understand that if you have colors similar to the competition when building a brand, it's going to be harder to recognize your dumpster compared to the bigger dumpster companies. Because, say green, for example, like a dark green, you have Waste Management. If you have a dark green dumpster, they're gonna have way more dumpsters out in the wild than you will, especially when starting out. So you want there to be some brand recognition, whether it be, and it doesn't just go with the color, but it also goes with the branding on the dumpster. One thing you'll notice about like a lot of the bigger companies is their dumpsters are not branded like big and bold. Part of that is because they're huge and they have brand recognition because they've been around for a long time. But if you put a dumpster out there the same color, size, whatever, in a driveway right next to a Waste Management dumpster, you want to make sure, and this goes for any color, not just green, you want to make sure that your dumpster stands out from a distance compared to theirs. So that's where you really have to get your branding. You have to get the branding on point. Very important. And that's not just with a green dumpster or maybe a red dumpster. That goes with any color. I think when starting a dumpster business or creating a brand for your existing dumpster business, the biggest thing with the color is to pick a color that stands out in its natural environment. So for us, we're in Wisconsin. Half of the year it's white outside and half of the year it's green. So by putting a green dumpster, say in trees or near grass, it's going to be less visible. It's not going to stand out as well in the summertime when its surroundings are green. Now, not every situation is going to be like that, but you have to think about it that way. If you live, maybe you live in the desert and you don't have green would stand out in that case. But look around in your environment and try to pick a color that contrasts the environment and it sticks out. Also, when picking the color of your dumpster business, you have to think about the branding on the can. If you want the branding and the lettering on the can to be black, let's say, you would not want to use a black dumpster, right? Ideally, you want not only your dumpster to stand out in its environment, but you want the branding on the dumpster to also contrast that. And that's very, very important. So if you want your logo or your brand to look a certain way and have certain colors in it, you would obviously not want to pick one of those major colors for your dumpster color as well. Now, by this time in the video, you've probably realized that this video really is not about the color of your dumpster. To some degree it is. The biggest thing when picking a dumpster color is making sure that it is branded and it is also consistent and distinguishable. So when we're picking a dumpster color, we want to make sure that it is distinguishable from other companies, whether that be the color or the branding. We want to make sure that it's consistent across all of our dumpsters so that they all look relatively the same. These could be used or new dumpsters, but this is really, really important. I think as the dumpster business progresses and more people get into it, I think picking a color and being distinguishable is getting a little bit harder. I've seen some good examples of people doing multiple colored dumpsters, and I think that this is a really good idea, and I think over time you're going to see a lot more dumpster companies move this way. One example is Same Day Dumpsters in Utah. What he's done with his dumpsters is great. His dumpsters are orange. There's lots of companies out there with orange dumpsters, mine included, but he's made his distinguishable not only with the branding, but also by adding a stripe on some of the dumpsters. There's another guy I've seen on YouTube. I don't remember his name, and I apologize if you watch this video. But one thing he's done is his cans are actually, they're painted like a cow, like black and white. This is exactly what I'm talking about when we're talking about brand recognition. By doing something like that, a can like that stands out against any other competitor. And this is a really good way to get brand recognition with your cans. One thing I'm really surprised about, and I haven't seen, I'm sure there's got to be somebody out there doing it, but when thinking of colors and you want something to stand out, I don't understand why nobody's doing pink. I think that some people are scared of the color and, you know, it's not very macho or whatever, but this isn't about your feelings, this is about your brand. And this is about being distinguishable. I think that a good opportunity for a dumpster color would be bright pink in a lot of markets. I know that sounds crazy, but these are the kinds of things that you need to look into and think about when trying to separate yourself from your competition. The next thing we want to think about when picking a color for our dumpsters is what they're going to look like in 20 years, right? A dumpster's lifetime can last a very, very long time. Now, obviously, you can repaint them and you can touch them up and things like that. But when we're picking our color, we want to think about what is rust and dents and dings going to look like on that can when it happens. What is it going to look like when it fades? And how we want to think about this is for the longevity of those dumpsters and that paint. We want to try to make sure that that lasts and looks good for as long as we possibly can. I think a lot of people look at this in a way that, oh, in 20 years, you know, I'll be retired, I'll be gone, I'll sell the business, I'll pass it down to my kids. Well, when you're thinking about your branding and the color of your dumpsters and what they're going to look like potentially in 20 years, you need to look at them as if it was you were going to buy the business in 20 years. So one thing that you're going to want to do is make sure that they maintain how they look, and whether that be painting them or swapping them out, new ones for old ones. But if you were to buy the business, if you were to buy your business, are you looking at those dumpsters the same as you do as the owner of the business? If you're going to pass this business down to maybe one of your kids, you don't want to put that burden necessarily on them, and they need to understand this lesson too. So as the business owner, over those years, you need to make sure that you're consistently moving in new cans, keeping things nice, and don't just put it on the next buyer or maybe whoever takes over your business. I think there's lots of good colors for dumpsters out there. I think black, red, orange. I like the bright pink and any other variation in between. There's guys around my area with every color that you could imagine, and we personally have orange. Now, I didn't pick orange. That came when I bought the business. There are other dumpster companies in my area that have orange. What makes ours distinguishable is the branding. And the branding is really important. I've gone into this on lots of other videos, and I preach it because for the longevity of your business, you want to make sure that no matter what color dumpster you have, what size, what shape it's in, even if it's an old, rusty, nasty dumpster, make sure it's branded. That is the biggest point to this whole video. I don't care what color you pick, make sure that you're distinguishable and stand out from your competition. Even if they're set side by side, make sure that they remember your dumpster for whatever reason that might be. And make sure if they do remember, it's not because it's a big rusty turd. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I appreciate, leave your thoughts down below in the comments. This is a video just to get people thinking, and I hope it inspires you guys and makes you think a little bit more about this. I think about a lot of this stuff pretty deeply sometimes, and sometimes putting it on camera is kind of hard to portray all of my thoughts. So if I missed anything, or you guys feel anything is important, or you have any good examples of a good branded or colored dumpster, leave it down in the comments, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.